Hi, guys. This is another amazing episode of the Epic Love Podcast with me, Chaya Garcia, Epic Love expert. And I'm going to read something from Alex Hormozi because he's the best. And let's go off that. Okay. Alex Hormozi basically says, and I quote, if you have low standards for friends, you will have many. If you have high standards for friends, you will have few. You cannot expect to only befriend exceptional people and then be surprised when there are not so many of them. What I love about Alex and his quote is the fact that it's true and that you need to understand that if you're going to have an epic love life, which is few and exceptional, there's not going to be that many people who are going to support your belief systems, right? So, like when I'm on Instagram, everyone's like, there's no such thing as the one. It's all about your choice and your nervous system. And I'm like, no, you have a soul and there's God. And you have to become this amazing, soulful, spiritual person who knows your soul's purpose as well as what you want to achieve in your life and use your choice. And that is the magic of combining what you want to create in the future and going backwards from the end of your life now and not just focusing on your choice and making it as simple as you versus you in a relation and an interconnection to God, your divinity, your purpose, and what you want to create in the world. And so, what I love about this is most people say you're fucking crazy, right? To me, about my this, about my. But if you're going to be exceptional, you're not going to find so many people who are going to agree with you. And that is the power to understanding and creating an epic love life and an epic love habit in your epic love life. Because an epic love habit and an epic love life basically starts with you, right? What do you do every day? How do you talk to yourself? How do you show up for yourself? How do you have confidence because you've proven over and over and over again that you've seen that this type of self-talk or behavior works and this type of self-talk and behavior doesn't work, right? How are you able to prove to yourself that you know what works and what doesn't work? Because that is the key to navigating all the noise. Everyone that you date probably is not going to be right for you with the exception of one, right? If you believe that you have a soulmate, if you believe in the one, which I 100% do, then every single person that you date is not going to be the one with the exception of one, which is why there's something called the one. And yes, 100% you have choice, but you have to understand that not very many people are going to support your very high standards for choosing a very high level of love. I just want to read the quote again. If you have low standards for friends or lovers or advice, you're going to have a lot of friends, lovers, or advice. If you're going to have high standards for friends or a lover or advice, you're going to have few, right? There's not a lot of Alex Hermozis of the world. There's not a lot of Warren Buffett's or Layla Hermosi or Cody Sanchez's. There are going to be very few people who will say, don't work for other people, work for yourself. If you can, don't just go to school and waste a shit ton of money getting more degrees. Become your own business owner. Buy a business. Create a life that you want by going against the norm. Most people are going to say, go to school and get good grades. Most people are going to say, give him another chance. Most people are going to say, religion and faith don't matter as long as you respect each other. Most people also don't have epic love lives and have lives that they're extraordinarily proud of. So, why are you going to listen to the norm, the many, if only the few who have epic lives are actually telling you something different? If you want to live a life of the people who are living the amazing life, you have to copy and listen to them. If you want to live the life of mediocrity, then listen to the people who are living mediocre lives. When I go to Aspire, which is a beautiful, beautiful event created for business owners and entrepreneurs, they say education was created by the poor for the poor. It was created by Rockefeller to teach you how to stay poor so that you can work for the rich. Most people will tell you, don't talk about money, right? Don't talk about religion and money. But what fuels life? When you have faith and understanding of a healthy relationship with God, and also how do you hold space for people who have different visions of God or different understandings of God or different religions and faith? How can you come to a place where you understand other people's religions or belief systems with love? Doesn't mean you have to copy or become that religion, but just to be able to hear and talk about it without anger or hatred. If you're not even willing to talk about it, how are you supposed to understand how money works and how to make more money and how not lose money if you're never talking about money? And that is the thing. People say, don't talk about money, don't talk about religion. But we need to talk about money. We need to talk about religion. We need to understand how to have healthy conversations around people who do disagree with us so that we can have a vision of other people's sides and how to love people even if they disagree with us. We can only grow if we have a magnitude of tolerance for people who are not like us, but who have done things different than us and maybe who are living a different type of life. And so, back to this quote, if you want to have a mediocre life, if you want to have subpar and low standard friends and low standard advice on how to make money or how to have a love life or get married to the right person, there's so many of them. But if you want an epic love and a very unique life that's beautiful and comforting and inspirational and uplifts you, you can't follow the many because the many are very unhappy. Somebody wrote on my post on my Facebook, they asked, I have a question. Do you think it's okay if men are looking at a bunch of women in thongs on their Instagram and Facebook, even though it's societally acceptable? And it's like, well, just because it's societally acceptable that men are looking at pornography all the time, it doesn't mean that you want that means that you want someone who might be a little bit epic, a little bit abnormal, a little bit high standard, a little bit high morality. And just because the majority of the world now has low standards and low morality doesn't mean you want to fit in and be there. Doesn't mean that you just want everyone to like you. Because if you want everyone to like you, you're doing the wrong thing. Want people to be pissed off at you. When I start getting comments of like, she's such an idiot, I'm like, yes, good. Because that means I'm saying something different than the norm. That means I'm saying something different than just choose the guy and he'll choose you back. And if your nervous system's calm, great, go marry him. That's horrible advice. The advice of people who have millions of followers doesn't mean it's the truth. Just means people don't know their own truth enough to know who to follow or not. Become your own leader and match energy that facilitates your leadership growth. Not become ignorant and stay ignorant and follow people who make you feel smarter just because you're learning education, but it's not aligning with your vision. If you don't know how great you want to become, and you're not following people who live that same lifestyle exactly, then it's very, very hard to decipher if you're following someone who's going to take you down the wrong path or not. Alex Hormozi can tell you how to make a lot of money, not because he says, I know how to make a lot of money, because he's done it over and over and over and over again. And he's not yelling from the rooftops that he knows how to make money. He's just said, look, I've done it a million times. I've seen it done a million times. And I can tell you, based on my confidence of seeing it so many times and doing it so many times and living it, that this is going to work for you. And I want to say that for you. I know what I know because I've done the hard work. I live an epic love life with my husband, with my kids who run to me every single day and love me, and I love them. My home is my proof. My private life is my proof. My health is my proof. All the shitty relationships that didn't work out before I learned what I learned that I'm teaching you is my proof. And the hundreds of women that I've worked with is my proof. And most significantly, although I think my private life and my marriage is the most significant, secondly, the hundreds of women's stories that I've read in books like Women Who Love Too Much and Codependent No More and Why You're Not Married Yet. All of these books have basically have the same exact story of how to love themselves enough where they connected to God and themselves to hear their own voice, to hear their own feelings, and to have enough faith to walk away from those that are not right. And yes, it is the few who are going to have high standards, but I want you to be one of those few. I want you to be someone with high standards where you're not asking what everybody else's advice is, but finding your own truth. And the one of the ways that I came to this was there's this fish. I love this fish. And basically, this fish climbs vertically up a waterfall from a pond, let's say, like a watering pool from a bottom body of water, and it climbs up vertically up a waterfall while the water is splashing down on it and trying to latch onto this rock swimming up literally against gravity with a waterfall splashing, forcing it down, pushing it down. And if this fish can make it against all the adversity, falling down to the bottom and getting back up and falling down and getting back up and falling down to the bottom water and getting back up and making it all the way up to the top of the waterfall where it's safe and there's a different type of body of water, then it has, and I quote, a utopian ground for breeding and family in its life. Most fish don't ever make it to that top. Most fish try to climb, get pushed down by the waterfall, try to climb again, get pushed down by the waterfall. And a few times this happens over and over again until they stay at the bottom of this pool. And that is where they live their life. And only a very, very, very few can handle that adversity, climb against gravity with waterfall flashing and pushing them down and going into their face and still push through, try again, and make it to the top and have utopian lives. Be that few, be that 1%. Hold on to that. That's what I held on to. We're nature, we're divine, and we are nature. And we are so connected to God, but we are still in a space that if you don't know how to handle adversity, then you can define yourself by the acceptance of that pain versus the transformation of that pain, meaning that you are okay living a painful, miserable, mediocre life instead of saying, I will always transform my pain into living an amazing life, and mediocrity is not for me. Mediocrity is not for me. I want to be one of those fish that climb to the top and get to that next level. And so I want to leave you with this. If you're looking for low standards, you'll find many men. You'll find many shitty business partners. You'll find very many workers. You'll find lots of friends who don't uplift you. But if you're looking for an epic love life, that means inspiration, motivation, connection, elevation, people who inspire you to work harder, who don't hurt you when you're down, who give you forgiveness when you make a mistake, who don't try to hurt you when you do the wrong thing, who have grace when you make mistakes, who are kind to you, who see you not for your faults, but for your future, and not only just the potential for what you can be, but also for that unique spark of greatness right now that's inside of you. You're going to need to hear your own voice instead of all the nastiness around you and have much higher standards. Walk away from people who aren't elevating and inspiring you and making you feel safe and connected to that greatness. So, this is another beautiful episode on such powerful quotes and questions that have been submitted from around the world from singles and people just like you. Married or not, you can learn relationship skills that 10x your revenue and 10x your relationships. And that is what I am here to help you do. So I would love to hear what you liked about this episode, what you don't. Do you believe in having high standards and accelerating to that next level? Or do you believe in just managing what you have and going with the cards that you feel that have been laid out? Do you believe that you can up your destiny by upping your standards, by increasing your love with yourself and having better behaviors that prove your worth, creating and generating goodness? Or do you think that you can just try really hard, but you're not? Where is your epic love lasting? Where is your love? And how are your habits in your life? I want to hear from you. So comment below. Do you believe that if you changed your habits and listened to a few instead of the many, you can change the trajectory of your life? Or do you believe in following society and listening to the many and living in that type of lifestyle? What do you think is right for you? And what would be an epic love habit for you to change your love life now? So, this is Chaya Garcia with another podcast episode from the Epic Love Podcast. I love hearing from you guys. Thanks so much for your input. If you like this kind of relationship advice and content, please like and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys. Have an amazing day.